Hello, everyone. We are back, and by we, I mean Lisa Timmons and Chris Quintos with
Hey.
Pilots 101 Podcast. My girl, Chris, what is up?
Hey, how's it going? Lisa T.
Oh
Lisa
my God.
T.
Thank you, Lisa T.
That makes me think of Dazed and Confused. Lisa P was the character, I think.
Oh my
from,
gosh.
Dazed
And Confused. That
Yeah.
feels right because that would have been the height of being named Lisa. It was a really popular name for a very specific era. Years from now, I'm going to have one of those grandma names. I'm going to have Lily or Esther, the things that people are like, oh, it's so quaint. You never, but
Right.
truly, no more new Lisas are being born.
But it's a cycle, though, because that stuff
It
comes back.
is.
Because Esther, hotter than ever.
You're absolutely right. I love a grandma name. And
Like
that's
Rose,
why I was like,
there's a lot of Roses. You know what I mean?
I
There's
love
a
a
lot of-
Rose. You know what?
a Louise.
I nannied for a June.
See?
June is
You see?
you're up. Listen, you know what? Thank you.
It's all
Already,
cycles.
she's turned my frown upside down, guys.
Yes. You know why? Because I seek the truth.
Yes, you do. We are about to hit you with that truth bomb in our discussion of truth seekers.
That's
on
right.
Amazon
Truth
Prime.
Seekers. Amazon Prime. I believe it was a BBC situation.
I think it might have been a collabo.
I'm just guessing. Maybe not, but I'm like, what do I know about BBC? Not much.
To
not
me,
much.
if it's British and it was on television, I assume it was on BBC. That's
same.
That is all I know.
Same. That's literally what I know. So So apologies to the BBC if it's not a BBC production.
Don't be mad at us, guys.
Yeah, guess what? Truth Seekers. Okay, Truth Seekers. So here has been our plan thus far for what we're going to do next. We do a show, and then we say, what is the hardest left turn we can do? And then Lisa will throw out a show, and here we are. So Truth Seekers, horror comedy. Half hour.
Yes. Half hour.
Horror comedy.
Horror. And so, however, I'm a horror girl, guys. I love horror, but my girl Chris, I had to ease her into it. So I purposely picked something that was scary, but it had enough comedy that I thought, it's not going to be too much for my gal.
And still, I watched it like this. And if you're not seeing, I'm looking through my hands.
Her little thingies, her little thingy.
It was.
Thingy glasses.
I was still scared, and I kept being like, "It's only a half hour. It's not gonna be that scary." It was on the BBC. We think maybe, I don't know. It can't be that scary.
Look, there's British accents. How scary can it be? And then an old white British lady starts running like a dog, and you.
I was scared. That was perhaps the scariest moment. I wrote that down.
Can I tell you? So if you guys are horror fans, then you know Nick Frost and Simon Pegg. These are the guys who brought you Shaun of the Dead. These are the guys who brought you Hot Fuzz. And also before that, Simon Pegg, Hot Fuzz. I mean, the fuzz is so hot.
Yeah.
But these guys actually started in television. So this is kind of I believe, coming back to their roots of horror comedy on TV. And it's really funny because I read a couple reviews because I found out it got canceled after one season, which bums me out.
Yes, I also found that out.
And it feels like a
And then I said, does that mean we never learn who the Burn people are? Like, do we not? Like, I was like, what does that mean?
To give you some closure, because I tend to only suggest pilots of series that I've watched at least one full series, because if I like the pilot, I'm just gonna
keep
blaze
going
through,
right?
And you do get that mystery resolved in this season.
Okay, good.
In fact, I will tell you guys, I was surprised. I thought it was an hour. When I went back, I was like, oh, we're finally doing a 1 hour. But I was like, no, we're not really. It's a half an hour.
Yeah.
But if you watch it in its entirety, it more feels like an extended movie.
Okay. Yeah. I could see that. See that. It was really, so I was scared. I was totally scared. But I'm a fraidy cat. Like that's just how I roll. I mean.
You're a gentle soul.
And I constantly do try to like push, not constantly, like I'll forget every once in a while. I'll be like, I'm not that scared, like it'll be fine. And then I just try to like go do one thing. This was my one thing for like the year, I think. Unless Jordan Peele's
Noted.
like, knock, knock. Yeah. So, yeah, but I did write that down. That moment of physicality at the end was terrifying with that
Girl,
woman. I mean,
yes.
where she
Well,
just,
the funny thing is, I think I, she creeped me out from the jump because I was
yep.
like, is she gonna
Mm-hmm.
try to colonize something? Because all the white people from them European countries just stay putting flags and shit that doesn't belong to them. So
Oh, yeah.
I
Yeah.
was
Oh,
scared for
yeah.
this young man. I
Totally.
was like, is this a get out
Same.
situation? Is there
Yes.
a room
Same.
full of taxidermied people of color who've just wandered in
No.
accidentally?
Yeah. Well, we're not sure. We don't know. Yeah.
But
That woman is going to colonize you. Run. That's funny.
but instead, don't worry, guys. There's just an animated spirit of a dog in its skeleton that later enters her body. So don't be
Yeah. Yeah.
scared.
So that's something else. Yeah. But what's really fun about this are all the the fake pumps of the jump scares. Some of
I
it you
love the
don't
jump
know.
scares. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you don't know if it's going to be a scare or if it's going to be actually just a joke. It's kind of fun
Yes,
that way.
it's
Yeah.
I'm so glad you and I really love this cast because you've
Mm.
got Nick Frost. He's coming in as sort of this like jaded kind of gruff seen it all
Yeah.
aspiring ghostbuster slash cable maintenance guy who's kind of like
Yes.
the best at what he does.
Yes. Yeah, that was a fun one. Yeah, Nick Frost is a fun character.
He's a
Yeah.
fun character and he's Gus and he gets attached to this young man whose name is Elton John.
Yeah. Mhm. Mhm.
Elton
Mhm.
John, this who could not be more doe-eyed, and
Oh,
I
yeah.
loved him. He was so in it was to me. I really loved the balance of the relationship of him being so innocent, clearly did not want to get caught up in this ghost hunting thing,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, yeah, totally.
but
But here
you
he
can
is.
see
He's
how
just
the two need each other, and that's a great
right. Yeah.
relationship.
Yeah. And then that character is set up as well, they set him up as the noob, and
Yes.
he is our way into the world of ghost fighting or whatever. Ghost
Which is
hunting.
ghost
Truth
hunting, which is
seeking, if you will.
truth. Oh, I will. Yes,
Right.
I
Right.
love. I mean, a lot of pilots,
Mhm.
because it is the easiest really way to get your audience introduced to a world. Is a great way to start. Is somebody's first day on the job.
Yes. Right. Right. Yes, because then then everyone is introduced into this world equally. We get to see what's happening, and then we have someone on asking questions on our behalf, which is
Yes, exactly.
very important. Yeah. So that was fun. That was a fun, even though I was terrified. Um, I had fun.
I'm so
What
glad
would you
you liked
say?
it.
Okay. What would you say is because I do feel like I felt British humor. You know what I mean?
Yes.
But I don't know that I could define what that means. I guess I would think a little, there's a lot of winking. There's a lot
So for me it's very funny. So British humor is something that I first got into probably with the British Office because I didn't.
ah,
I mean,
yeah.
it's so funny. A sideways way into that was Kids in the Hall because I feel like Canadian humor is sort of like this lovely hybrid. It's like it's not American. It's decidedly
It's
not
a colony
American.
of, yeah.
Yes, and
Yeah.
it has like a British humor-ish vibes of not taking yourself too
Yeah.
seriously. But
Right.
I would say from my TV viewing and dating a person with British parents, an American-born person with British parents, is there is I find there's not taking yourself too seriously. You're
Mm-hmm.
constantly taking the piss out of yourself, as they say. Like a lot of
Taking the piss out of you.
very
Sure.
self-deprecating, uh,
Yes. Yeah.
quietly biting,
Dry,
very
I
dry,
find.
super dry.
Yeah.
But the thing with Simon Pegg that I think makes him stand out to me is there's a silliness that I think
Mm-hmm.
is a bit more. I feel like you find that a little bit more with American humor.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
there is sometimes like American stuff can be like a little too self-important, but this business of like the slapstickiness of like the visual gags of like the dad on the stairs going
Yes,
up.
yeah.
I
That was
love
a fun
that.
moment.
That was a fun moment. The was it the Doctor Who cosplay costume scare?
Yes. Right, exactly. These like pump fakes of scares. Yeah, totally. Yeah, I find that too. British humor for me, well, it was like introduced through Monty Python, so I don't
Oh,
know.
okay.
Like,
So you're
is
more
that
OG.
I don't know. And I guess Mr. Bean.
Well,
Um,
for me, it was also. Oh, I lied. You know what? Absolutely Fabulous was the first British
oh yeah,
series that I got super
yeah.
into, and it was. It's so much more willing to make a fool of yourself in
Hmm.
some ways.
Yeah.
It
Self-aware, I guess. I don't know.
a
To
bit
me.
more. No, it actually. I feel like it is a bit more self-aware, and also just like you can do all these ridiculous, insane things, but as long as you have the proper elocution and the proper
Oh.
table manners, you can kind of get away with whatever you want. It's like so weird. As long as you follow the format of the
Yeah.
rules, you got
Yeah, totally. Then you can play within them. Yeah. I mean, I'd asked you to make a sweeping generalization, so like
hey girl,
it's all
less
good.
sweep,
But I
less
like it.
sweep.
You definitely feel it. It feels different. I couldn't, necessarily pinpoint it, but it does feel different. It was, and that was a hard left turn from living single.
Single. oh, we're laughing because we have an inside joke that is probably not appropriate to share on here.
We're not gonna do it. But
But shout out
yeah.
to Matt Richards.
Oh yeah, Matt Richards. And I want to bring up his promo poster. I'm not gonna do it. Okay.
I will
We're
just quickly tell people a good friend of ours who is a stand-up comedian
yes.
posted a promo picture for when he was going to be doing some upcoming dates. However, the way that the picture was designed and the way the dates were posted, it looked like he had been alive. He was dead. And this is a memorial
It looked
for
like a
his life
memorial.
that
Yes.
had lasted 3 days. The 3 days that he was
Yes.
performing in Las Vegas, I think it is.
It was like he was like backlit or front. I don't know. It just looked like a memorial. It looked like he had a halo. It just like did not look like a comedy show necessarily.
Needless to say,
Anyway,
he's alive.
Matt,
Don't be worried,
great.
guys. But here's the
you
other
should check
thing
him out.
is,
He's very funny.
I love this because there is there's a young girl who we open the show with.
Mm-hmm.
Who has she's in a house, the house catches on fire. It looks like what is maybe her mother burns in the fire. And then it's like, is she a ghost?
Right.
Is she alive?
Yeah.
What's going on?
Around 30 seconds in, I was like, Lisa.
Girl,
this is scary.
I know. Can I tell you something? I looked at all the reviews and there were any negative review was like, it's not scary enough. It's too mild.
My gosh.
And then I was like, I don't think you guys understand the spectrum.
Yeah, seriously.
People are capable of watching.
Are there American horror comedy shows? I can't.
You know what?
I mean, I feel like Jordan Peele is a horror comedian. But
yeah, I'm trying to. You know what? If people know of any, please post them in the comments and inform us, and we will happily check those out because I'm always looking. We're always looking for hard left turns.
Yeah. Which this was, and it was so fun.
I'm so glad you liked it. Yeah.
It was. Yeah, I wrote down that fake scare with the wheelchair with the dad or the stair thing. That's the kind of stuff that I thought was really fun. Yeah, and then what's the mystery of his old partner? I don't know. They set that up.
Set up a lot of it. It was very, very cliffhangery,
mm-hmm.
which I liked. It felt, which kind of speaks to like what I was saying before, how it felt like an extended movie. I mean, it even looked like it was shot on like an anamorphic. It just looked like a film to me.
Yeah, it did. I agree.
And I'm looking here, and it said that it premiered at Cannes.
Oh.
Excuse me, the Cannes Series Festival. which
Okay.
makes sense
Good
because
for them.
I'm so sorry, guys. I keep having a series of burps, and I'm not going to stop the recording.
You're human.
I'm a
Hey,
human
we
lady.
all have we all have burps. Come on.
Everybody burps sometimes.
I'm trying to think about, I was literally so scared that I was just like, I don't know. That moment when he was like, this room should be bigger based on the outside. I was like, please stop. Like,
Don't
what is
explore.
happening? Don't do that.
Mm.
Don't do
He
that.
his emotion of wanting to explore and also being like he kept being like, why did I say that? Now we
Yeah.
have to go in there.
Yeah. And then they all work for Smile, which to me felt like they were making fun of Amazon, but I don't know. Like now I'm like, I
I
don't know what Smile was
It
supposed to
definitely
be.
felt like they were making fun of like giant Time Warner or whatever,
Yeah.
the like
Yeah.
conglomerate. But also, I, as someone who has then watched the entire series, I will say having a cable installation person
Yeah.
also low key want to be a ghost hunter is perfect because every new customer
Yeah.
is a potential ghost because
Right.
also England's so
Right.
freaking old. Every
And
five
haunted.
seconds there's a and haunted. I mean,
For sure
it's
haunted, for sure.
just it is ripe for ghost hunting.
Yes. Yeah. Check this out if you like that kind of thing. If you don't like that kind of thing, you can also check it out through your hands, which I
Through
do,
your
you know?
hands, just with little eyeglasses that are actually just your
Yeah.
fingers, your finky glasses.
Right. Yeah. But it's like, it's action packed. Like it's, it's action packed. Like it doesn't stop.
And two things I love about this is
Yeah.
our because we come in with Nick Frost. Nick Frost, well, actually it's this young woman and then Nick Frost, but if you watch the whole season, you realize that this Elton John character who is played by Samson Kayo, who is a
Elton
young
John. Yeah.
black
Very
man
funny.
playing
Yes.
Elton John. His name is Elton John.
Correct.
He is he becomes you get the sense in that first episode there's more to him than you know, and he
Yes.
becomes such a central figure. And you and I are both big supporters of any diversity and representation, and
Absolutely.
he's fantastic. Also, I don't know if you're familiar with Susie Wokoma, who plays his sister. She's
His
in
sister?
the pilot for a moment. She had the cost, like she's the one who's
Yes.
like, oh my
Yeah.
gosh, I was so
The
tired.
makeup.
I could barely watch the Lord of the Rings trilogy. Yes.
Yeah, she does makeup YouTube or something,
Make
right?
she also become her role gets increasingly bigger, and the relationships that develop between her character and the dad character played by Malcolm McDowell, just an
Yes.
acting legend.
Yes. Yeah,
He
absolutely.
Yeah, the relationships that develop between the four of them are so lovely and so cute. And another thing I will say about British series that I found is
Mhm.
they come in hot a lot of times in the first couple episodes with an anti-hero character who you just do not like. And
Mm.
it's usually not till like episode 4 or 5 that you learn why this character is so flawed, and it
Uh,
gives you some insight into them. And then this Nick Frost character of Gus is kind of like that to me, where you
okay.
start off and he's just so gruff and he's kind of like an asshole to
Yeah.
this kid, and he's so and then you later realize why. I just think character development takes place so much more slowly in British shows because they have the luxury of doing that, because since it is often BBC shows that are government funded, you're not
Yeah.
having to sell a pilot.
Yeah.
It's different. You're running a series until it finishes, and the story ends when you've decided that it wraps up, not because it's been such a commercial
Yeah.
success that you keep going. So to me, that's
Right.
like the big difference between American and British storytelling is we are driven by commercials, and they're becoming more that way because the models are all mixed up, but you still have that element of it's government funded, so you have more space to breathe within a season, I think.
Yeah, I think so too. And then yeah, I mean, there's like a, not to be disparaging to our own country, but like if there's just a level of like intellectualism, I feel
Yes.
like that's assumed. Like they're not hitting you over the head all the time with like it takes its time, like you said, and it lets you discover it too, which
Yes.
I fully appreciate. Yeah.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right, because you're allowing your audience to be a little like, I don't know every piece, but
Yeah.
you trust that they'll stick with you to figure it out.
Right. Instead of like, oh, I have to like tell you exactly what's going on, So yeah, check it out, Truth Seekers. Even though I was terrified, I would recommend it.
I'm so happy to hear that.
Yeah, it's on Prime, so check it out, and probably not BBC, but yeah, but
Listen,
we can call it what we want to call it.
we
But
can call it what
thank
we
you
want.
for joining us in our analysis of Truth Seekers. We'll be back with another hard left turn. I just put lipstick on my chin, so that's good. And yeah, and we'll talk about more TV next week. You can find us on all socials at Pilots 101. I am at Chris Q on IG, and
I am at Timmons Lisa, and on, I think it's Twitter and IG, we are at Pilots 101 Podcast.
oh, thank you.
You're welcome.